So I just moved into a new art studio and let's unpack it. I feel like every time I watch like interior design shows, they always start with their plan of the space. So this is what I'm thinking. This wall I want to be where I have the canvases hanging. The desk here, easel, inspo board. I also wanted on the record, I ended up doing none of that. While unpacking, I found a bunch of old photo albums from middle school when they had me play Jesus in my church's Easter play. It's not relevant, I just thought it was fun. So it's time to set up the easel. I lost the instruction manual, so this was like 20 minutes of me Googling how to put it together online, but to my shocking horror, I made a mistake. I took the easel too much apart when I moved because there's certain pieces that were just supposed to be together, but I was like, oh, I'll just take everything off. These are the individual pieces, and this is step 1 of the tutorial. So I put my blue light glasses on because they made me feel smart, and then I assembled everything in about an hour. Done. Obsessed with this little thing, obsessed. Okay, day 2, and I want to find a bookshelf that I can put all of my paints on, and then a little cart that I can wheel around to like mix the paint. 12 hours later, and the deal of a lifetime came my way. Dreams come true. But one sick deal was not enough.
Yeah, but you're gonna get both?
Yes, $20. It's ugly, but there's like, I'm feeling good about it. The vibes. My soft baby hands were not cut out for such a project, but I was off to a good start. The white desk attachment came off with ease. Look at that. Improvements, dramatic.
Yuck!
It was cleaned and de-screened, but I had a lot of leftover screw holes, so I needed to bust out the plastic wood. I'm gonna let that dry and then come back to it in the morning. So next is to do the sanding and the painting. I also unscrewed the hardware before painting so that I could just paint over the holes and it'd look real sleek when I'm done. And then I did the edges. I used a brush to get in the hard to reach spots, just that when I did use the roller, I didn't have to worry about getting it in the corners. Hardware is on. I think this was supposed to be a wheel, but I found some speedier ones around. This is the final product, but there was a cabinet calling my name. I had to sand down the wood so that the paint would stick. I'm sure there's a proper way to do this, but it was a $15 bookcase and I just needed the paint to be grippy, you know? So I went to the Home Depot and got the art supplies. I did the same thing from before and took a brush to get all the corners and details to make it easier when I paint the rest in later with a roller. You see the ease? But about the second coat in, I thought things were starting to look a little goofy. I'll admit it, this isn't great. This is actually super ugly. But I have a vision, and I feel like when I put everything in it, it's gonna be kind of cute. That was a guess, but I gathered things that I thought would look good in the cabinets, so that's what this little segment is. So I've organized every bead I own, but I ran out of jars in my entire house. So I'll show you what we're working with. It's in the measuring cups, mason jars and cocktail glasses, bags, miscellaneous jars and shells. I think you get the point. So I'm gonna get a bunch of containers to put them in. It's very, very satisfying. So I just got all of these bead containers, and I think in total 24 plus 48 is a number that should be enough to hold all the beads. Let's get into it, shall we? This was meant to be no more than a quick little side project, but it ended up taking closer to about 12 hours to finish. I put the beads in their cutie jars, and then that became a display case, which meant it was time to put stuff in that cabinet. Case in point. so wrong. Now it's better. I had this big old wall. What am I gonna do with this big old wall? I answered my own question. I had this leftover corkboard from my previous studio, but needed to paint it to match the current setup. So I stripped that down, drew out a map of Cape Cod, and then decided to hot glue yarn in the shape of the map, which took significantly shorter time than the beads. I had minimal burns because I handled the glue with my old pottery tools. The map looked cute, but once again, I was humbled by text. Oops. Oh, that is ugly. It's really bad, so I think I'm just gonna paint the rest. Which genuinely made no difference, so I circled back to the yarn and finished what I started, hoping that it would look a little bit better. I hate this. I feel like the best way to fix the sign is to do a small collage, so I'm kind of just going through some old-timey / Cape Cod-y papers and cutting out what I feel like could work. Not the Jersey cream. Anything but the Jersey cream. Perfection gets you nowhere. I settled for good enough and moved on to my next project. But if you are a graphic designer and can give me tips to fix it, like, please comment. It's just slightly wrong. I felt like the yellow was clashing with my coastal nautical vibe, so I went to Joann's Fabrics to look for a cheap fabric to reupholster the chair with. I've never reupholstered. God, I walk like I'm pregnant. I'm not, but I got this fabric that was so cheap, $7 for a yard, and I just could not resist. I'm thinking about if I lay it down and just cut it. I don't have plans, I have concepts of a plan. When you measure with vibes, you run into some difficulties that measuring with math could avoid. This doesn't wrap all the way around, but we got it though. Is what I'm doing a crime? Probably. But am I having fun? Yes. Take off his clothes. So I think the art studio's done. It's time for a tour. This is the before and this is the after. My little desk area. I'm typing, I'm blowing kisses at you, getting inspired at the mood board. Then my bookshelf and all the little knickknacks. Picking out my bead of choice. And then the other side of the studio, this is the before and this is the after. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. Appreciate it, and see you soon.